crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we're going to have fun because we are into the next video in our series of Master Layouts dies, and this one is a deep dive into Master Layouts 10. Now, Master Layouts 10 was designed for slimline cards. Slimline cards are those long cards that fit inside a regular business envelope, a number 10 envelope. So you can use regular business envelopes, and these cards can mail for the same price as a single forever stamp, and gives you lots of extra room to use your big layering stencils. It also gives you great options for having more room inside those cards. And I always like to, remember that my mom always loved bigger cards. She equated the size of the card with the amount of love. So she always loved the slimline cards and the 5x7 cards. So today, that's what we're going to focus on. And I'm also going to show you how you can use Master Layouts 10 in a regular A2 card. Just a fun little design that I thought might be, cute to try and to share with you. It's a little fancy fold, and I think you'll like it. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy crafternoon, everybody.
How are you?
I am better than horrible, having a good day.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good day today. We are having a lot of fun here in the warehouse. We're starting to get ready for our next release, which is coming up May 13th. Lots of people have been asking about that, so I'll put that out there. May 13th is the next one. And so what's on your agenda today, Tom? Anything fun?
Let's see, paying bills, getting the furnace fixed, paying some more bills.
None of that sounds fun to me.
And we're getting a lot of rain here today.
We are, yeah. It's
probably much needed.
And the perfect day for crafting, right?
It is the perfect day for crafting, yeah. Get inside, and I have a phrase of the day.
Oh, you do? Oh, very exciting. All right, well, let's get started right away because we have a lot to get through. So for those of you that are new to the Master Layout series, this series started by creating your own binder with this printable sheet here, right here. So this is a printable sheet that you can find on our blog. You just go to our website and click on the blog tab, and then click on templates and charts, and you'll see the Master Layout series. You'll see a picture of this binder, and this enables you to print this cover sheet out. Now this right here, this QR code down here at the bottom, this allows you to find that blog entry much more quickly when you're ready to print your next version of whatever Master Layouts we'll be working on. Then I put a little label on the side here that says Master Layouts 1 through 6 because that is all I could fit in my binder. This is a 1.5 inch binder, and I started a second binder, which is right here. So as you can see, this one is set up the same way, but this one is for Master Layouts 7 through 12. Now, each Master Layout set, we have download sheets for the die sizing and then also for some layout designs that I share with you. So let's move on to Master Layouts 10. All right, here it is, Master Layouts 10. So we've got our sizing sheet here. This gives you each of the sizes of the dies that are in this set. And this is helpful because if you're just, you're looking for a label die that's no bigger than 4 inches, or you're looking for a stitched sentiment strip and you want it to be at least 3 inches long. You can kind of page through your binders and you can look and see which one is going to work for your project. Now, these two new sheets are not on the blog yet. I will be putting them on the blog right after we're done going live today. But you'll be able to print this one out, and then over here, I have the idea sheet. So these are just a few ideas of how to use the dies in this set. Now, one of the things that you have to know about these idea sheets is the idea sheets for each one of these Master Layouts sets tries to mostly use just the dies that are in the set, unless it's, you know, a very specific set that's made to do something different, like our the one that's made for landscaping and things like that. So I want to just find my little bits and pieces. They should be in here, because I always like to just kind of lay out things on my cards so you can get some ideas. So here I've used just the pieces that are in this die set. And then over here, I made my actual panels. And these are my kind of my layouts that correspond to these, so I can see if something that I have in my, you know, in my stash here is going to work. So for example, this one, I might have a couple of stamps here that I made, and I think I'm going to actually use this in a layout today. But let's say I liked this layout and I wanted to see how this looked, and I could say, oh, that looks so pretty, right? So maybe in my stash I have some pretty pattern paper that I wanted to use on this background. Maybe I have some background stamps and I wanted to stamp half with the sweater background and half with the Petite Flourish background, and then, you know, kind of do this kind of look where I have some of my florals. Then you can use a bigger greeting in there in the center like this, and that would be a great way to use this. All right, so that's one idea here for this, so that you can see what they look like in actual size. Now over here, I've turned this to be more vertical, and then there's room here for a greeting. So maybe you have some pattern paper here, and you have some strip sentiments that you want to use. I don't think I have any strip sentiments cut out, but you could do this with white embossing powder. So maybe, you know, you would do something like having a design like this, and then you would have happy birthday maybe down here, and then, you know, hope you have a wonderful day here. So that's another way to use this kind of layout. All right, I'm going to put this back and show you the other layouts that we have. Maybe this is not going to be easy for me to put back, so maybe I'll do that later rather than struggle. Now this is another layout that I did. I want to pull them out because I feel like these protectors are very, very glary. So for example, on this one, I used the large panel. Let me show you what that looks like. This is the large panel here, okay? And I used that as the background. And then I used this belly band panel, and then I used the decorative label here. For this one, I used the two smaller ones and broke it up so there's color in between here. So this is kind of a different look. So maybe for something like this, you know, you would have this down here and this up here, and then you would have a much bigger sentiment, like maybe one of the sentiments from Debbie's set where she's got those more poster board sentiments, you know, a very big greeting in there. I think I have one that I can show you if I have it close by. Let me just look. Like, for example, maybe you would want to use the elegant asters and have like a big greeting like, you are such a gift to me. That's going to fit really nicely on that label. And then you could have your florals coming down this way. And then I did one more layout, this one here, where I did the same layout as this, except I added this panel in here, which is this layered with the black panel. So maybe this would be done in a different color cardstock or patterned paper, and then these would be done in that, you know, the white. So then you could add these in here, but you'd have a little bit more decorative on the outside here, if that makes sense. So lots of different ways to use these. And remember, each of these is going to fit into a regular business size envelope. So that's the perfect fit for that. And this is going to be able to be mailed for the same price as an A2. So, you can see that Master Layouts 10 has several different ways that you can use them. And don't forget, you can also do it this way. So you can do any of these turned, right? So maybe you want this to be a big money holder. Maybe you want to put some kind of certificate in here. This is also a fun way to have it positioned horizontally and open it up. We've got so many big floral designs too that you can do a big floral on here. We have big stencils that you can do big stenciling, big stenciled flowers on here. So many ways to use it. So these are my ideas here. And then of course I have my, where are they? Where did I put them? The tri-cuts, I pulled them out. Here they are. The tri-cuts, once again, Yaya coined that phrase. Thank you, Yaya. These are our pieces where if we want to try something, for example, maybe we want to see how these pieces look on an A2 card, or we want to see if a greeting is going to work, and we just want to have that little greeting there that we can lay our stamp set over. For example, let me find one here.
Question from Carrie, are all these cards single layer base?
What does single layer base mean? I'm not sure what that means. These little samples, I only cut one panel. I didn't make a whole base card so that you don't need to open it. I mean, that would be kind of a waste of cardstock, right? So I just made the card base out of a single sheet of paper here, but normally you would have it double the size so that you could open it. So I think that's what you're asking, but what you also might be asking is, did I use an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to make these? And if that's what you're asking, yes, you can make a card base out of an 8.5 by 11 for a slimline card. So if that's the question, the answer is yes to both.
And Liz wants you to know that your blouse is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And I'd like to know what the difference is between a blouse and a shirt.
Well, a blouse is another name for a shirt. How's that, Tom? Does that help?
Okay. No difference.
No, well, I mean...
I thought it was short for black house, but...
No. Not at all. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of this so that we can make some of these cards. But then I also want to show you how you can incorporate this Master Layouts 10 into an A2 card. I think that that's really important to see. And I also want to do something a little bit different than just using stamps. I want to use some stenciling on here as well. So let's first talk about card bases and what the size of the card base should be. So I'm going to take a piece of this cardstock that I already cut out with Master Layouts 10, and you can see it's got that really nice decorative edge. And then I'm going to take one of the black panels that I cut out with the plain die, and again, that's this die and this die right here, these two. And then I am also going to, I'm going to just leave it at that for this first card because I want to do a little bit of stenciling because I want to show you how nice it is to use the big stencils that we have. Okay, and I got to check something here on my, there we go. All right, let me get my little mat here. All right, so this is going to be a little bit short for Master Layouts 10, but I think we can make it work. It's going to be just the perfect size. What am I talking about? That fits perfectly onto my sticky mat. I love that. I did not think that was going to happen, and that makes me really happy. And then for stencils, what I want to use today is one of our bigger stencils. So I am going to use, let me find it. Oh gosh. Our brand new Primrose would be perfect. But I also have another one in here that I think would be really nice too. And I brought them all home last night. But I don't, well, of course the Mega Bloom would be fantastic. But I want to use Well, you know what? I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use our new Primrose because a lot of people just got this one, and I think that they would enjoy seeing it. So this is our Whimsical Primrose stencil set. So I'm going to start. One thing I like to do when I am doing something big like this is I like to first make sure that these are all lined up, and then I want to see like where this would come. I want it to go off the card base. So that looks pretty good, like right about there. So I am going to put this one right here. So this is layer 1. And I think I'm going to do this in some really bright red tones. So I will start with Sun-Kissed Coral. Let me grab that. I'm going to use Sun-Kissed Coral. And I'm going to use my brand new black inkstand. So excited for this. All right, did you see the answer there? Riva said, Tom?
I've been reading. Yes, I've been reading all the comments. Thank you.
Okay. Women wear blouses, men wear shirts. There we go.
Unless you're a Marine.
Unless you're a Marine. There you go.
That's what several people said. That's what the Marines call their shirts.
They call them blouses?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. See, I learned something new from our people here all the time.
They can call them whatever they want.
That's right. They certainly can. All right, we're going to start with Sun-Kissed Coral. And I'm going to just do a light brushing around of each of these flowers. Such a beautiful color.
Linda wants to know how to clean the sticky mat.
Just with water, and your tidy towel would be great. Because the tidy towel is lint-free, so you won't get any lint on it, on the sticky part. Don't use any stamp cleaner or any alcohol or anything like that. It will take the stickiness off. Your sticky mat's going to stain, but that's okay. As long as you just wipe it down with water, you won't get any ink transfer. All right, so there's our first layer. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in up here with the second layer, and I'm going to come in on an angle like this. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to do all one color first, and I do want to see what this is going to look like. Is that going to get in the way? No, I don't think so. That's not going to get in the way. I think that's going to look really good. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to just do kind of a light ink blending around. I think Sun-Kissed Coral, if you don't have this color yet, this is a color that everybody needs, especially when we get closer to the holidays and we start doing poinsettias and things like that, because even though it's a coral, it is the perfect base color for reds. So when you're doing red ink blending and you need that lighter red, this is just perfect with that. And we're going to do that today. We're going to use red for the second layer. Okay, so there we've got our Sun-Kissed Coral. Then I'm going to clean my stencil with a little bit of alcohol. All right. And then I can put this one away. Whenever you're cleaning a stencil like this, if you're new to layered stencils and you've got these really delicate little pieces here, just don't rub back and forth. Just clean toward how the little nib is going. Don't try to rub back and forth because you will bend that and possibly break it off. So that's how I clean those. And I like using alcohol because it cleans it all up really nicely. All right, let's get to layer 2. So I'm going to put this on here until all that white disappears. That looks good. And then I'm going to move to a bright red. So I'm going to use Red Hot. All right. And again, I'm going to just put these Post-it notes up here just to prevent myself from making a mess. And Brianne, share the link to the black inkstand for everybody because these are brand new to the inkstand shop. And I absolutely, I love the black. I'm so smitten with the black. And I think it's because, they just stay so clean looking, right? Even though I've got like ink in my lid, it might be a little on there, but you're never going to see it. It just makes it look so clean. I love it.
Julie wants to know, can she put her tidy towel in the washer and dryer?
Not in the dryer. You don't need to dry it, but definitely you can put it in the washer. I wash mine in the washer a lot. But just not in the dryer. I'm going to move this just a little bit up. Just let it air dry. And if if it gets real hard and crusty, that's fine. You just have to reactivate it with water. But you don't want to put it in the dryer because that's going to damage it. All right, so I'm going heavy-handed here with the Red Hot.
And request from Jana Lee, would you ever consider making storage pockets for your smaller stamp sets and dies?
We do have storage pockets for our small stamp sets and dies. We have our mini pockets, which are great for those little mini sets, the 4x4s. We have our small stamp pockets, which are great for the 4x4s and also our 4x6s. We have our stencil pockets, which are perfect for our stencils. And then we have our large stamp pockets, which are great for a variety of things. So those are available. Some of them are sold out right now. We are waiting for the shipment to come in. Should be in any day because I know that it shipped quite a while ago. So hopefully they'll all be in. But we have them. Oh, Kathy Zilski used this stencil yesterday. Yeah, she did. You're right. It's such a favorite. It's definitely a fan favorite.
This kind of has a fun yellow submarine kind of vibe to it.
It does. I don't know what that is, but was that like a cartoon or something?
The Beatles in 1960s, 60s art.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't shoot me, but I was not a Beatles fan. I know. I was not a Beatles fan, though.
It's before your time.
It was before my time. I like to dance. I don't feel like you could dance to their music.
Gina was a disco girl.
I was a disco girl. I'm still a disco girl. I like anything, danceable. So, all right. Now we're going to go to layer 3. And let's get this lined up here. So there we go. Looks pretty good. So for this one, I think I'm going to use the spruces. I'm going to use light and medium spruce for this. So I will start with the light spruce. Let me find a blending brush. I've got blending brushes all over the place here. Should I use a small blending brush for this? I could. Now, if you're not sure what's on your blending brush, I always like to just clean mine quickly with some alcohol. You can do that and use it right away because alcohol evaporates really quickly and it'll definitely, take that ink off of there. So if you've got a darker ink and you want to make sure that it's not going to be too dark, see how the brush is so much cleaner, it's brighter now. And then it dries almost instantly.
Carolyn is looking at inks and she's a little overwhelmed on the website. Any suggestions as to where to invest first? What color palette first?
Well, I would have to say, if you're trying to figure out what kind of ink that you want to invest in first, the first question is, Do you like to ink blend like this, or are you looking for an ink that you can color with like colored pencils and Gamsol or Copic markers? So, if you're looking for something, you're a watercolorist or something like that, then you want to go with our amalgam ink. And if you do no line coloring, you want to go with one of the lighter amalgam inks. And if you like black line coloring, you want to go with our black amalgam ink. Now, if you just do colored pencils or, Copic markers, alcohol markers, then I would suggest that you go with our black Onyx dye ink. If you're looking for colors, I would say start with a rainbow. I would pick a red, a yellow, a red and orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, like a teal maybe, a purple, a pink, and then of course a black, because you always need black for like sentiments and other things like that. And just pick your favorite red, pick your favorite orange that you see. And then you can do pretty much anything. If you are really into floral stenciling like this, you might want to pick a light green and a dark green. And you might want to pick, a light red and a dark red, or a light pink and a dark pink. This way you can do the layers like we're doing here. So I know it can be overwhelming, and I know it's easy to say, well, just get them all, and that's not in everybody's budget. The other thing that you can do is you can try some of our ink cubes first so you can get more colors, because our ink cubes are more cost effective and you can still ink blend with them. So there's, no reason why you couldn't start with a few ink cubes to see how that would work for you. All right, so now I'm on layer 4 and I'm going to go to the medium spruce. I do love the spruces. They're very beautiful. I'm going to use the same brush. But if you're, if you like a more olivey green, I would get something like jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. If I could, go back in time to when I was just starting, I think what I would do, well, when I was first starting, there weren't YouTube videos. I was one of the first YouTubers to make crafting videos. There weren't any of that kind of thing. There were blogs, but I think what I would do if I were brand new is I would watch several videos, and then I would maybe start with just the products from that video. Then I would really use the heck out of those products until like I was just really sick of those colors or just sick of that stamp set or the layering stencil. And then I would pick something new. Or I would start with one of our card kits. So you get a lot more for your money. So you have a little extra money to get some extra ink colors, things like that. You don't have to have every single stamp set, die set, ink color in order to get started. And I would pick a favorite, but the beauty of YouTube and being able to watch videos and see something that really resonates with you, because if you had this stencil, for example, and you had these colors, you could pick up 2 or 3 more layering stencils and make these same kinds of cards, but with all different stencils with just this color palette. So I would take your time, find colors and things that you really like, and then, add as you go. It's just my advice that you don't need everything all at once.
Oh, and as far as using different stencils, let's see, we had somebody just ask. Oh, Sabrina, I don't have the Primrose stencil. Will this technique work with the Mega Bloom stencil?
Absolutely. It'll work with Mega Bloom. It'll work with our Modern Hydrangea. Would be gorgeous. That's the one I was looking for, Modern Hydrangea. I don't know where my Modern Hydrangea went. I thought I took it home last night to actually make this card, and but I don't know where it ended up. So Modern Hydrangea is a great one for this. All right, now I'm going to go back to this stencil again, and I want to get these little stamen in place. That's the little centers of the flowers. Get those in place, and I'm going to do those in black onyx. I'm going to use a fine detail brush. This, I feel like, is what really makes it pop. You get that little pop of black in there. And I feel like that really makes it pop. Doesn't that really just, wow. All right, now we'll do this one up here. And I'm lining up the leaves because I feel like that will help me line up the centers a little better. There we go.
Do we sell slimline envelopes?
We don't. But you can use any business size envelope. All right, so there we go. And you could see, like, with these big stencils, just stenciling everything twice really fills in all the space. You don't really need much more than that. So let me clean this and we will assemble this card. And welcome, everybody. It's great to see all of you coming in from all over the place. I know it's getting close to nighttime where some of you live, and it's much earlier in the day where some others live. So we love to have you here. So thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I am going to pull this off. And then for cleaning the mat here, all I do, I don't use any chemicals or anything else. I just take a tidy towel and I just wipe it. Some colors will stain. Don't worry about that. As long as you've wiped the excess ink off, it won't make any difference at all. But you don't want to use a chemical because you want this thing to stay tacky, right? And if you use alcohol, that's just going to remove all of the tackiness. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to layer this onto the black panel. So this black panel was cut with the plain rectangle die from this set. It gives you that nice little shadow layer. Oh, I love to see where people are coming in from. It's great to have you here. Also, at the end of every video, we give away a gift certificate to our store. So the way to get a gift certificate to actually be entered to win is just to make a comment. That's all you have to do, is make a comment. Stains drive you nuts? Oh, well... Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty good there. So now it's time to cut our card base. So let's do that together. Now the card base color that I want to use, let's see how Sun-Kissed Coral would look with this. That would be very pretty, wouldn't it? Sun-Kissed Coral, that's a wow, right? The other color that I think actually would look really nice with this is Christmas Pine. Let's just take a look at Christmas Pine with that. That would look very pretty. And then one more color I want to take a look at is Moonlit Fog. I just want to see what that would look like. Moonlit Fog. So you can see the gray in there. I don't know. I'm leaning toward the Sun-Kissed Coral, although there's a lot of coral in there. I still feel like I just want to see all that bright color because it's spring and I am tired of winter, so I got to put the gray away. Okay, so let's get the big paper cutter out. And for a slimline card base, it's very easy. So we want our card to measure, when it's closed, 4 by 9. That's the perfect size for the Master Layouts 10. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 from 8.5. So I'm going to make it 8. And then I'm going to make it 9 inches this way. So 9 by 8 or 8 by 9. So this is what's left. I could use this for something. I'll definitely use that for something. So I'll save them. Might as well. Now, if you don't have a big scoreboard and you only have a small scoreboard, that's totally fine. What you're going to do is you're going to score it at 4 inches down as far as you can. And then you can turn it and score it at 4 inches again, down as far as you can. Just.
You could make card shards with those scraps.
Card shard, is that a word of the day? Card shards. Oh yeah, like your card that you made that was all shards. If you haven't watched our 200K celebration, you got to go watch it because Tom made a card and it is a very good card and lots of inspiration came out of that. All right, so like I said, you can always do a card this way, which would be kind of a nice money mailer kind of card, but look at that. That color. I love it. Alrighty. So you need a little more tape. This is a lot of real estate here. Okay, let's get this on here. So this is just an idea that is not in your idea sheet because there's nothing to it. It's just plain blank slate. And then we can use a big greeting in here, just like this, like thinking of you. Now there is another part of this stamp set that I think I'm going to stamp and die cut. So this came from this set, Thinking of You. I think I'm going to add another saying under here because I feel like I need just a little bit more. So I might do and wishing you peace, thinking of you on your anniversary, thinking of you and keeping you in my prayers. Let's do that one. Thinking of you and keeping you in my prayers. So we're going to stamp and die cut that.
It's nice. You could really spread things out with this design.
Right? I know, that's so nice. And if you wanted to, if you feel like you need more flowers in here, you could always come in again. I'm not going to do it right now, but like, let's say you wanted it to kind of go off on this side. You could always come in with a little bit more flower down here. You can always add a little bit more floral. You could flip it the other way and add some more flowers up here. So you can always add more. You can do more than just the two. All right, let's get a little piece of white cardstock here. I have to have a tiny piece in my scrap box. Did I throw like the tiniest ones away? Egad. All right, well, we'll just use this for now. And keeping you in my prayers. This will be a good one. I think these are the kind of cards I like to have ready to go. If somebody's struggling and you just need to get a quick card out to them, this is a great saying. Is there a die to the stamps? Yes, there is a die to this stamp set that cuts all of the greetings out, cuts the florals out. And there's also a die for this particular stencil. That's something new that we did this time. So you could actually die cut those flowers from this Whimsical Primrose and, pop them up on the card as well if you wanted to do that instead. Okay, so we're going to cut that out. And then I'm going to add a few little embellishments onto this card. I'm going to use my grip mat for my little die cutting machine. And we're going to cut this out with the little die cutting machine. Sorry, that's crooked. There we go. Is that better? Not really. There. Just in case anybody can't stand to see it crooked. I know somebody said that they can't stand their grip mat to be, or their sticky mat to be dirty, to have ink on it. So we'll just make it nice and straight there. All right, let's find the right die for this. Did I pick it right from the start? Oh my goodness, I did. Okay. So I will need something to tack this down. So I'm going to use a Masking Magic strip. These are our Masking Magic strips, and they're very low tack tape. So I'm going to use that to tack this down. I feel like on a flat card like this, it is nice to pop something up. So popping the greeting up is going to give it just a little bit of interest. Alrighty. This is my favorite thing in the world, by the way. I am having so much fun with this little die cutting machine. It makes it so fun. I took it with me on a little crafty weekend that I went on with some friends, and I made all those bits and pieces that I showed you in the beginning all weekend. That's all I did was sit, cut, and color images, and it was so much fun. It's just great sometimes to make things without a card in mind, you know? Let's get rid of that. And we'll put this back in the MISTI. All right. Now I'm going to use some foam squares to pop these up. See how this greeting, having that extra bit of greeting there takes up a little bit more real estate, and I think it works better with this size card, having the bigger greeting. Okay. So I'll get my tweezer and some foam squares. So let's get the thinking of you down first. So if you haven't tried a slimline card, I highly suggest you try it. They're fun, and I don't know what it is about like branching out into a different size card that makes me feel like, it just makes me feel like crafting is brand new. You know, when you're always doing the same A2 over and over and over again, it can feel like nothing's new. But when you try a different size card and you just see the way, you know, different stencils and things fit on something like that versus an A2 card, I don't know, it just gets your creative mojo going again. Put these tiny little strips there, and I'll put one more here. Okay, that should be good enough. Now I have to tell you guys about something that's coming up tomorrow. I am actually going to be on Scrapbook.com's YouTube channel, and we are going to be making some fancy fold cards. We're going to be having a lot of fun tomorrow with Laura and Cody. So I'll definitely link that on my YouTube channel and also on in our Facebook group. So I hope you guys will join me for that. And Laura and Cody, we're going to be having a lot of fun tomorrow too. All right. So let's put some foam squares on this as well. Just wanted to give you a heads up for that.
Postage is still the same, right?
Postage? Yeah, the postage for this is not any more than a regular A2 card, which is so cool, you know, because it's a pretty big size. And you don't have to pay any additional postage. So I think that's a bonus.
Had a few requests for the bundle of colors on cardstock. We used to do that at one time, didn't we?
We did. It is very, very labor intensive for us to do that. It takes so much energy and effort to do the bundles like that, and so the price is very cost prohibitive. So our answer to that, we used to sell all of our cardstock in packs of 25. So our answer to that was to change the size of our cardstock bundles to 10 packs so that you know, it's easier to collect more colors less expensively. All right, so now we are going to add some little somethings in here. I feel like gold would be pretty. So maybe we'll do a few little gold gems, but I'd like to put them on there. Somebody said, I'm here for the boop. Kathy Zilski, she is our boop queen. She is the booper. So I feel like I can't infringe on her sound effect. That's her thing. But yes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, when Kathy Zilski does embellishments, each time she lays an embellishment down, she says boop. So, but I can't, you know, I feel like...
Sorry, we have our bling sound effect.
Do we have one? Oh yeah, we do. Did you play it, Tom?
I did.
Because I don't have my headphones in, so I can't hear your sound effects. Which is probably a good thing, because who knows what other sound effects you're adding. I am trying to find a medium one, too. So I have a medium one there. I have 3 little small ones, but I'm going to move one of these small ones up that way.
A lot of requests for black beads, too.
Oh, black? Oh, y'all. Yeah, you're right. Black is the ticket. Definitely. Sorry. But, I mean, if we're going to do it right, we're going to do it right. Yes. You guys are... See? That's why it's not as fun when I'm crafting alone as it is when I'm crafting with you guys, because you guys have the ideas. And I love that. That's so much better. Do I have another medium black one? I do. That might be big, but that's okay. Gotta use big ones too. All right. Oh, I love that. You're right. That looks so good. So I'm doing 5 instead of 3 because I feel like I wanted to add a little bit more in this area. I know. What's the point of putting them in a thing when I just keep forgetting to bring my little diamond dot stuff in here? All right, let's lay it down. Yep, the card base size is 8 by 9, and then you score it at 4 inches for these. One there. Yeah, the black. Thank you, whoever said that. You are so right. Okay, this one is weird. This one is like half a black one. So I need one different one here. That's a full black one. There we go. Okay. So there is our first card, and I want to show you, I wasn't lying. They do fit perfectly inside a business envelope. So instead of sending a bill in one of these, you can send a card in one of these. And you don't have to get the ones that have the security stuff. They have plain ones too. And they're super inexpensive. And then you could decorate the envelope too. You could do a little ink blending on the outside to match, which would be beautiful. Have just that pattern going up the side of the envelope, and that would be absolutely stunning. Yep, perfect fit, right? All right, so there's our first card. Now, I do want to show you another card that I had made earlier before we get to our next card. This card I made in a video, and I wanted to just show you. I used embossing powder for this. This is from the Flowing Floral stamp set, and I just basically stamped this image at the top, and then I flipped the cardstock over and stamped it again so it was even on both sides. And then I used the box image from this Master Layouts 10, these two right here, to frame that out. And then I made a little cluster of flowers using the Flowing Florals and just added the Hello Friend. So once again, that's another, fits perfectly inside that envelope, but just a different look, using that as kind of my focal image pop up there. So very different cards, but still very beautiful, right? The kind of the whole look. I don't know. It's a very elegant shape, I think, this card. A very elegant shape, that long, thin. It's like the supermodel of cards, right? Because it's tall and thin. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, let's make another card, and let's use that beautiful, elegant, ornate frame.
Question from Deb, real quick. Do you ever stamp images on envelopes?
Oh, sure, you can stamp envelopes. You can stamp your envelopes. No problem at all with that. All right, let's take a look at these designs. Now, I think I'm going to use this layout right here. I think this would be really fun to add a little bit of a background stamp in there or a little bit of stenciling in here. And then we can use those florals, and then we can use a big greeting in here. So let's make this one next. This one is almost the same thing, just turned on its side. So, you know, if you had more of a shorter, chunkier image, or maybe like a sprig that went around, something like, let me find one, maybe something like this, you know, that would be perfect. I'll grab the book so we can look at it together here. We can look at that actual size. Okay, here it is. Here she is right here. Let me put this back. This is what I love about having this book. So, you know, if you wanted to do this and you had something that went like that, and then you wanted to add, you know, your greeting down here, you could do that in this orientation and maybe have patterned paper over here. Or, you know, we can do it in this orientation, which is what I'd like to do for my card today, but I want to add that extra layer behind it, which is this design here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. So we're going to need one of these panels, and we need another black layer, which I pre-cut all of these last night because I didn't want to waste time cutting these. I thought that's, you know, that's a lot of unnecessary time spent in a video. So I've got two of these. I think I cut this out of like a slate. And then I need two of these. These are those squares with the stitching. And then I need one of these elegant labels. These are so pretty.
Ellie said,
just beautiful?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Ellie said the PDF for ML10 is not up on the blog yet. Will that be up?
That's correct. I had mentioned that earlier in the video that I haven't gotten those up yet. They're all done. They're all ready to go. I already printed them to make sure that they worked, but I didn't have a chance right before I went live to put them on the blog. So they will be on the blog right after I get done the live. After I take the pictures of everything, I will add those and you can download them a little bit later this afternoon. All right, so I'm going to layer these two panels together. These are just going to be plain. A lot of real estate. Okay. And then I'm going to layer these two together. So, and I didn't do my nails today, so I apologize for the unattractive nails. I got home last night and I started working on this Master Layouts 10 stuff. And honestly, I was so tired last night. I passed out and I woke up this morning and I was like, wow, I must have really needed it because that was something. Okay. And then we're going to do this one too. I always have big dreams when I get home from work of all the things I'm going to tackle. Do you guys do that too? You think about it all day. Oh, when I get home, I'm going to make this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to cook dinner, and I'm going to do all these things. And then you get home, and you lay down on the couch for 10 minutes, and then you look at the clock, and it's 10 o'clock at night. So this one is going to go up here, and this one is going to go down here. So we're going to have that little gap in between. But we're going to do something to these two. So I think we'll use a little stenciling today instead of stamping. But you can always use a background stamp instead if you want. But I'm going to use, let's see what I brought with me here. I'm going to use, ooh, so many options. I just used the crop circles, so I think I'm going to use the Harvest Flourish for this. I really want it to be light, and Harvest Flourish is a go-to for me when I just want a little whoosh of something. Just a little whoosh. That's the technical term. All right, I'm going to use soft stone, which is one of my go-to grays for this technique. And all this does is just gives me a little bit of color in there. Oh, thank you. They have a little clear on them, so they're not the worst. Oh, and I know a lot of you have been asking about my ring. Well, I finally took it in, and I found out that what they originally made my ring with, the head is no longer available. Like the prong thing is no longer available. They don't make that anymore, which I guess makes sense in a way because, you know, it was a long time ago. But they showed me some different settings, and you guys know I've been wearing my mom's wedding ring to hold me over, and I was thinking, what if I got a new setting that I could wear with this so I could keep them both together? And it's kind of like having my mom near me, but also having my wedding ring. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of this soft stone here in the center. I'm not going to do the whole thing, just a little bit like that, just to give it some color. Okay, and then I'm going to take that off. See, it's going to look nice up there. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here with this one. I'm going to just turn it. I'm going to turn it a little bit, just so that it's not exactly the same on this one. You know, it doesn't make sense, right? My mom left me her wedding ring, and to just put it in a drawer, put it in a safe or something, doesn't that seem like I shouldn't do that? Like I should wear it. She would want me to wear it. I know she would. All right, so that just gives that little bit of decorativeness. I like the way that looks. We do have all of our ink on order. Now, if you don't have soft stone, you can always use Stormy Sky and just go a little light-handed with it. So, you know, you don't have to use exactly what I use. You can also use something like Craft or Sandy Beach, or you can use Sea Glass. Just something light, a little dusting of color will be perfect for this. Okay. Yeah, I like the way these nest together too. I like this look. All right, we'll put this away now that this is cleaned off. Maybe I won't put it away. I'll put it away later. Getting all frustrated. Okay, and now I'm going to layer these. And when I layer these in place here, I'm going to make sure that all three sides have an even border. That's going to give me the best look. You know what I mean? How all three sides there have an evenness about them. See how it doesn't look good when you just like have it down here? It just feels wrong. So make sure you've got that even border with the three sides. That just, I don't know, that just looks better to me. It's better to my eye. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. Okay. Sometimes I look up at the screen to make sure it's got like a better angle than I have on it. All right. So there we go. There are two pieces. And you can see just having that little bit of stenciling really does add something to that. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop this frame. This is the thing about master layouts to me that is the best. there aren't a lot of dies out there that give you that perfect match where you can get that perfect little frame around the outside like that make everything pop. And even these ornate shapes, the stitching is perfectly aligned, and this is perfectly lined up. This is really difficult to do. I know it doesn't sound like it would be. It sounds like you should just be able to make it bigger. But when you start getting weird curves and things, just increasing the size doesn't increase the offset pattern perfectly. So it's really quite difficult to do. And when it finally is right, it's just makes me so happy. All right, so that is actually going to get popped up on here, but I want to play with this layout a little bit now. So I have this that I think would be just beautiful coming in up here. I want to see a little bit of this on the side. And then this one coming in down here like that. I think that will be really pretty too. Now, I have this up a little high. As you can see, I need to make sure that it's even so that I have the same amount of white space showing up here as I do down here. And then I'm going to either stamp a greeting, or I can look and see what I have here. I have thankful, but again, you know, with this one, I feel like we need something more in here. And this set, this is a different set. Let me find it. I think it is. Is this a different set? Yes, it's a different set. It's called Ornate Birds. And that's where this thankful comes from. And we could use For All You Do, but let's see if that will look pretty good on the little flag image that comes in this set. So let me find my my pieces here. And I've got some little flags cut. So let's see. This is one of the flags from Master Layouts 10. And I can do that. It's okay if it's got a little bit of extra space on the side, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to accent those sides with little black pearls. So I think that's going to look really nice, and that will take up some of that space so it doesn't look too empty in there. All right. So we'll stamp this next, and let's just put this aside. Now let's talk about card base colors here. So there are a couple of different card base colors we could use. We could use Wild Wisteria, because I stenciled these with I stenciled these with Wild Wisteria. So we use Wild Wisteria, but I also have Blue Sky. So let's look at those colors. Here's Blue Sky. That really makes the purple pop, the Blue Sky, right? All I see is purple there, and which I love because the smaller flowers are blue. So that's really pretty. But we'll look at Wild Wisteria too, because Wild Wisteria is another gorgeous color. There it is, Wild Wisteria. That is very glowy. So here's my opinion. Hear me out. Brienne just gave me all the purple flowers, purple hearts. Hear me out. So when, just as a design thing, here I feel like all this purple doesn't make the blue pop. It just doesn't, right? I don't really see the blue. I just see all purple, even though there's a beautiful blue in here. But the blue seems minimized because that purple is so vibrant that when you put it on the blue, now I see the blue and I see the purple. So for me, I think Blue Sky is the ticket. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's why I really like to look at all the options first, because immediately when you're using Wild Wisteria, you think, oh, I got to use that Wild Wisteria cardstock. It's so gorgeous. But if I had done these flowers in opposite and maybe focused on these bigger flowers in the blue and these smaller ones in the wisteria, that might have worked better. But here I definitely think that we need the blue cardstock to get that blue to pop out of there. All right, now wish me luck on this one. I don't feel good about this, stamping on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a template for this. So this way I know that I'm going to stamp this greeting dead center of where I want it to stamp. So I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to stamp For All You Do on this white cardstock. Okay. Don't worry if it's straight. As long as it's straight. I mean, you don't want to like curve the stamp, but make sure that it's not curved, but you still, it doesn't matter if it's going uphill on here or downhill, it doesn't matter. All right, so there we go. We've got that there. Now I'm going to leave that just like that. I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to get my mini die cutting machine again. Do I have another flippy mat? I don't have one, so we'll struggle bus it a little bit. And I'm going to cut myself one of those Master Layouts 10 dies. Where is the die set? Did I ever bring the die set out to show you the real die set? Here it is. So I'm going to cut one of those little strip sentiments out of a different color cardstock. There we go. Well, look how big these are. These are crazy big dies. They are gigantic. Okay, so I'll put that back in there. And then I'm going to use a little scrap of, well, here's a little leftover blue scrap from the other night that I never put into its right pocket. So that's good. I'll just cut that out. All right. There we go. And I will just keep that for something else. Maybe I want to emboss that in white at some point. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, we won't be needing this little die cutting machine right now. We're going to go back to the MISTI, and we're going to line this up so it looks perfect. Let me clean that out. It's got a little phrase in there. Okay. Let me find that piece of masking magic too so I can tack this down. So here I'm going to line this up so that it looks perfectly centered and straight. That looks pretty good, right? For All You Do. Looks centered enough. It can be a little bit deceiving because my piece of cardstock isn't very straight, but I think this is going to work. All right. So now I can take this and I can tuck it into that template, and now I can stamp it. I hope I did that well. That looks pretty good. For All You Do. I think I'm going to stamp it a second time. I think my 4 was a little squishy. Did you see how hard I pressed on that? That's one of those examples of something that I'd rather stamp it more than once than squish it and have it look a little bit distorted. So I'll try that again. Alrighty. All right, light hand. And then we'll stamp it a second time in here. Wish me luck. I feel like it's like the 4 is a little bit darker, so I might just not stamp that part. Ooh, I hope this is gonna work. If not, I've got more cut. Okay, that looks pretty good. And that's ready to go on my card. So now, oh, it flew on my sticky mat. So now I could save this with my Master Layouts 10 if I wanted to. I could also die cut this one if I wanted to, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do either one of those things. I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to clean this stamp up. I don't have any updates on the Chucky tool just yet. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's put this stamp away. And we'll move on to the assembly of this card. Now, I think we're all in agreement with the blue. I didn't see anybody say no, do the purple. So let's cut the blue card base down to the 9 inches by 4 inches. So we got 9 going this way by 4. No, 9 by 8. Whew! I'm waiting for you all to scream. I know that you're probably screaming now, but the comments are delayed. Good thing I didn't cut that. So that's 9 by 8. It is a 9 by 4 size when it's folded, but holy Shazam, that would not have been a good thing. Okay. Now I'm gonna get the I'm gonna get the blue sky cardstock in here and the scoring board, and I'm using the small scoring board, so I'm going to score it at 4 inches. We've all done that, right? I'm not alone. And I'm gonna turn it and finish it off on this side. Okay, there we go. This is like too big to put in the scoring board to do the pressing of the crease, so we'll just do it out here. That's totally fine. All right, that looks good. Might be a tiny bit off at the top with my cutting, but it'll work. So now let's get this assembled. So this is going to go in here. I have to fix the top. It's going to drive me nuts. I'll take the picture and it'll be bothering me all night and I won't be able to sleep. I got to fix the top. There we go. That's what I needed to do. So let's adhere this panel. I have enough tape. I think I changed my tape runner in the last video, but I've been using a lot of tape lately. I've been making a lot of cards. And I tend to make a lot of cards here more than at home. Okay, now we're going to pop this up with some foam squares to give this thing dimension. Unlike our first card, which was very flat, this one needs to have some dimension. So I'm going to put these on the top and the bottom. Like that, to give that a little lift. And remember, we want to make sure that when we put this down that we have it centered. It needs to be centered, so even in here, not too high up, not too low. All right. And that looks pretty good. Sometimes it's easier to look at it this way too, because then, you know, you're looking at it a little more centered. I'm just going to pop it there and see how that looks side to side. Now I got to move it over just a little bit to the left because I struggle, but that's like centered. That should be pretty good.
Is it better to stencil then cut or cut then stencil?
You mean for these flowers? It doesn't matter. It's whatever you prefer, really. I tend to cut them after I've stenciled the color onto them. But sometimes I don't. It really depends on my mood. So it's really up to you. All right, so I think I'm going to tilt that a little bit like that and a little bit like that, just to show a little more here. So thankful for all you do. And that's just going to go across the center there like that. And then we're going to add some embellishments in here to finish that off. So we're going to pop this up on the outside, obviously. So we're going to add foam squares up here. We'll do a small one here. So that's going to give us a little bit of a lift there. And we'll tape it down over here. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to put our foam squares down here. Put this on after. Okay. Like that. We want to make sure that we keep this within the edges too. It's real tempting to kind of go outside, but we want to make sure that it fits in the envelope, right? So I like it going outside onto the blue a little bit, but I also don't want it to go past the blue. So this is kind of the look that we're going for. So I'll position one and then I'll make sure that the other one is positioned the same way. But these are pretty. This is from the Thoughtful Flowers stamp set as well. So that Thinking of You that we used in the last card has this flower design in it. I'll just put a little tape on here. And then we will position that to make sure that we see, I like seeing this in here a little bit. So I think I'll do it that way. And that is still within, yeah, see, I have to go up a little higher. I have to make sure that those foam squares, yeah, that's good, because I want to fill in this box a little bit more too. Okay, so that looks good. I like that. Now I got to do the same thing. I've got to do the same thing down here. So we'll put a little tape over here. Yeah, it really depends. Some people like to stencil first and, you know, then they go ahead and die cut. Other people like to get the die cutting out of the way in case they mess up with the die cutting. They haven't gone through all the work of stenciling. So, all right, so I have to look at this. I think that looks pretty good right there like that. Okay, there we go. Now we'll add the Thankful and we'll pop that up as well. Might as well, I mean, the first one we didn't pop up at all. This one we're popping everything up. So Tom, while I'm doing all this pop-up stuff, you said you had a phrase of the day.
I have a phrase of the day. Okay, if any of you out there have ever been to a crafting event, I know some of you have, and you sat at a round table with all your stuff, working on cards into the wee hours of the morning, you've experienced that otherworldly phenomenon known as crop circles. That is the phrase of the day, crop circles. At your craft show or event near you. Back to the dead space.
I like it. Crop circle. Is that the shape of the table?
Yes.
I love it. Very good. Good one. And I'm going to slip that under, and I'm going to tape that right to the card. That's a good word of the day. All right, so that's slipping under there, and I'm going to make sure that it's centered. That looks pretty good. Okay. All right. So there we have that layout. Now we're going to add some of those black gems onto here. I've got all, there's one that I want. We'll just lay them out here. I feel like the black ones really do work so well with the little black. We could put one down there too. The little black thin lines around all of this, that really does make everything pop. Here's another one of these. So again, you know, going with the odd versus even numbers, I'm doing an odd number, 5 right there. I really like this card. This one is super fun. So it's big though. It just drifts out of frame so easily. Okay, here we go. Two-handed. 1. I do like to put my embellishments down first to see where they should go. 2. Do 1 in here. 1 here. I think I used that half one again. I don't know why I didn't throw it away. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so there is our second card. Isn't that fun? So here we have 2 that we made today. Love, love. Oh yes, I was going to add a gem to either side of the strip. Good thinking. Yeah, let's see what it looks like. We don't have to commit to it. We could just see what it looks like first. So 1 here. You guys tell me if you think it needs it. And 1 over here. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that looks good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. We need it. Let's do it. Let's add it. And I feel like that's good because, you know, we have that extra space on the side of that strip, and it could be questioned why we needed that. But here's the perfect reason that we needed it. It's because we had an embellishment to add. Let me get a glue glob on there. All right, so who is liking these slimline cards today? And how many of you, if you're out there, do you guys have Master Layouts 10 yet? I can't turn this over. There we go. And then we have to make sure these are even, so that's always the thing, you know. That looks pretty good. This could go over just a little bit, but not too much because I actually didn't center it very well, but that looks pretty good. All right, there we go. So there is our second card. Now I wanted to show you a layout where you can use Master Layouts 10 making an A2 card. So let's take a look at that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this panel here, okay, this panel here, and I'm going to get my scoring board. And I am going to score this at 2 1/8 of an inch. All right, so 2 1/8 on one side. And then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do 2 1/8 on this side. All right, and I'm going to fold these in. So this is going to give me a gatefold look. All right, see how that comes together there? Comes together in the center. Probably could have folded it a little better, but you get the idea, right? So this is a nice, a really nice layout for a card. Now this should measure 4 1/4 inches, and it does, 4 1/4 inches, which is a card base. Now we're going to cut a panel that's a little bit smaller than 4¼ inches. We're going to cut it to like 4⅛ inches. Just a little bit smaller by 5½ inches, which is the size, almost the size of a card base. And the reason we're cutting it just a hair smaller is because we want to make sure when we put this in here that it wraps around. Now, that's actually a little bit too big. So we will go with, let's see, what size is this? Oh no, that's tiny. Let me get another piece. I have all my scraps here, so no worries at all. We'll go with the 4¼ and we'll see. I just feel like it's got to be just a tiny bit like on the right side of the line by 4½. There we go. All right. Let's take a look. Make sure it wraps around there. See it's you see how it's like it's still a little bit big. So we're going to just cut another hair off of it. So not quite 1/8, but a little bit more than 4¼ So there's 4¼ We'll just go down just a tiny bit. Just a little bit. Just want to make it fit in there nicely. There we go. That's nice. That looks good. Okay. So now I'm going to do some die cutting here, and I'm going to get my big Intricut machine. So we're going to break into Master Layouts 2. So let me zoom out a bit. We're going to break into Master Layouts 2, and I do believe I had taken that home last night, but if not, I know where it is. Here it is. Master Layouts 2. So we're going to cut a white panel and a black panel using Master Layouts 2. Okay. So I have the rest of that piece of cardstock. I'm going to cut that. I'm just going to turn it on an angle a little bit. I'm going to cut this out. Because it's nice to see other ways to use these same dies with different sizes of cards. Because you might want to make a lot of slimline cards, but you also might want to make just a regular A2 card. And the frame is so beautiful on this that we have to use it. So let's see, is this already cut to the right size? It is, so I'm not going to bother cutting that. That was in my scrap box. I got lucky. All right, put this back. And we'll put this back for now. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end up decorating this card this way. And then we're going to have a little gatefold opening on the front here. Okay, so let's add a little stenciling onto here. So since we used Harvest Flourish in the first card, and maybe that's the stencil you have out, let's go ahead and use it for the second card. We might as well, you know, this is almost like limited supplies, right? So we can make lots of different cards with our same supplies when we do this kind of thing. So we'll do a little Harvest Flourish just as a grounding panel behind there. Just a little bit. And it's so light that you can write over it if you want. It's not dark, but it just gives a little bit of interest. You see that? Just a little bit of interest in there. It's light on the camera because it's so bright in here, but when I take high quality photos, I will show you the inside of this. I'll open it for the photo. Okay. Then, what did I do with that black panel that I just had? Here it is. It stuck to my black inkstand. It was camouflaged. So now I'm going to layer these two pieces together. Like this. All right, and then this is going to go onto right in the center of this piece of cardstock here. Now, we could do a couple of different things. I want this to be able to stand up, so I'm going to actually put it on a card base too. But this is just kind of a fun opening. And we could explore this a lot more, different ways to do this flap using this Master Layouts 10. But what I love about it is the decorative stitching on there all coordinates with this, with the decorative stitching on the Master Layouts 2. So we're going to have that close, but when it opens, it's going to reveal that little bit of prettiness in there. All right. Now, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more stenciling onto this. I gotta figure out which way I put it on here, though. I can do it. I can figure it out. Maybe not. I feel like I want more. I'll try one more time. Is that it? No. All right, I'm going to give up and not do this. I'll leave it. I gave it a good try. So now I'm going to put some tape on the back so that I can close this up in the front. All right, so we're going to add tape along here. I know you guys probably could see it from your bird's eye view. I just couldn't see it. And I want to get that so that it's centered. All right, there we go. Like that. Okay. Now, we're going to use one of these in the front. One of these. And, of course, we've got to use the black layer. So we're only going to adhere it to one side. So when it opens, it's going to reveal this on the inside where we can write on the inside. So let's adhere this together. It's nice to have these all pre-cut. You know how long this would take if I had to cut everything? And then let's pick a beautiful image here. Now I've got a few things already pre-cut, but this image, look at this image. Isn't that beautiful? I could use this one. This is from Spring Clusters. This one is from Wishful Florals. And this one is from Delicate Dahlias. So it really depends on what we want to go for here. That's really pretty. Do you guys like that one? Should I be zooming in a little bit closer? Oh, and you know what I want to do too, before I adhere this? Before I adhere this, I'm going to take a piece of cardstock here and I'm going to just put that stencil right over here like this, and I'm going to add a little bit of this onto here, onto this side. Okay, just to give it a little something. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side, just protecting that area with that little piece of cardstock on the inside. And I want to do the same thing. I just add a little bit of interest there too, like that. Then it all kind of works together, right? So now this will go on there like that. See how pretty that looks? I feel like you needed a little something there on the sides. Okay, so people, what are they saying? The dahlia, oh, you want me to zoom in? Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit here. So, is that too much? So, you guys like the dahlia? Did they like the dahlia more, Tom? Or did they like the blue flower, like this one here? The blue one. And then I was thinking just a simple greeting, like a little happy birthday greeting that would just pop off the side there. The decorative oval is from Master Layouts 10, which is the die set that we're focusing on today. I like the dahlia. Somebody's saying the dahlia, please. All right, let's look at the dahlia one more time. Here's the dahlia. And that is pretty. All right, we'll save this because we have more dahlia people. The peach colored one. Okay, so the colors that I used for that were Sun-Kissed Coral and Butterscotch. So let's get a little bit of Butterscotch cardstock so we can really kind of bring that color out in here. I want to see what this looks like if we did a Butterscotch card base behind it. I mean, we wouldn't really see it from the front, so maybe that's not really necessary. We could probably just do a white card base. Or we could just do a super thin layer and just make the card base a hair thicker. But nah, let's just go with white because it's focusing on the white here. All right, so I'm going to lay this out on here. I'm going to pop these flowers up. My thought process in these videos, I'm sure half of you are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to live in her head. Because my head is all over the place when it comes to card making. It really is. It's just, it's scary in there. All right, so we'll pop that up just to give it a little dimension. And then we'll add the birthday greeting over here on the side and pop that up as well and give that a little dimension. All right. Okay. Don't worry, this is my final card of the day. I promise. All right. But I wanted to show you how cool this is. First of all, the frame is so pretty. It can be used for A2 cards. And I wanted to just show you a way, just a fun way to add it to an A2 card with a fancy fold. So I'm just going to put a couple little foam squares on half of this. Use a half one here. And then we'll just do a little bit of tape on this part. I got to think it out. My cards, every one of these cards is not planned. I want you to know that. I don't plan. I plan as far as like when it's master layouts that I have to cut all the pieces and stuff, but I don't really plan what cards I'm going to make. We kind of do it together. There we go. Happy birthday. Do I have anything? Nothing sticking out that side. Okay, very good. So now we have to remember that we can only tape this down to one side, right? We can't tape it down to the whole thing. Okay. All right. So pick your side. I'm going to tape it down to this side over here. So I only want to put tape on this half. Like that. And then I'm going to line that up, center it with it closed. Looks pretty good. Have to look at it for 5 minutes before I make the commitment. And then you see that's going to open that way. Now, if you want this to be, less black and white there, you can take another one of these and finish it off so it looks a little bit more finished like that. So why don't we do that? It's another one of these ovals. And we'll finish it off a little bit. It'll still have the black little frame there, which is always nice. But it just finishes it off a little bit, and it kind of hides the mess there. Okay, so that's kind of a fun little opening. Now we can always, if you want, we can always tack down one of these. I like to do it with a little Masking Magic. So let me find my Masking Magic strips here. So we can always take a little piece of Masking Magic and roll it like this. And just line that up perfectly. Then we could put tape on this. I'm just going to tack it down there just to see if you like the way it looks. And then you could have that in the center there to write on. And when you close it, this would cover it. So you can always like stamp a greeting on there, an inside greeting. But you don't have to do that. It's very easy just to write on there as well. So that's another idea for you. And then to get this card to stand up, because obviously it's not going to stand up pretty, what we'll do is we will take a piece of white cardstock. Get a little piece here. Of white cardstock, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 1/4 inches. I might go just a little smaller than that, just a tiny bit smaller. And then I will make my folded card base. So I will score that at the 5 1/2 inch mark. We'll see if this fits, and if it doesn't fit, we can always trim this down a little bit more. Sometimes your scrap pieces are a little bit off, so we just put that right on there. Yeah, I think I can trim it down just a hair more, just a tiny bit. It wasn't real perfectly even anyway. That's an old paper cutter, and I kind of think I might have to replace that, but we would just tack that on to that card base, so let's do that. And that'll make the back look nice too, because you don't want to see this, right? You want it to just look really finished off on the back. And then you could do a hidden message on the inside. You could do a gift card on the inside. So this could have a gift card, surprise, a little gift card in there, and then you could write here on the inside, and then that will stand up like a regular, I know you can't really see that, but that will stand up like a regular card. So that's a fun little A2 card with a fun little flip in the front. And we can put a couple little embellishments on here if we want to. Let's see what it looks like. I would just put them on the label, a couple little black pearls here, maybe one there, maybe one here, and one down here. Like that, just to finish it off and give it a little bit of jazz in there. So we can add that. There's that half one. I think I had 2 bad half ones. It happens when you get 10,000 gems in a in a jar. I probably have like more than one bag of them too, because I get nervous when I run out of these. I love these. This is like one of my favorite products. Let's get one more. That one had a weird thing too. Okay. So we'll put one here. I'm not two-handing this one because I have to hold this flat. And then one down here. We definitely could have used a different size one in here too, a medium one, but if you just have our 3mm pearls, then you could just use the small ones. So there we go. There's that fun little flip. And let's take a look at the other cards. Let me make a little room. And then we have a gift card to give away, Tom.
Well, okay.
So I'll give you time to do that now so that when I start talking, you'll have time to run all the buttons for me. Okay, so I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way so I can make a little room here. Like how I clean at home, just push everything into a closet and it's all ready for guests. So here are the cards that we made using the Master Layouts 10. We made 2 slimline cards because that was what it was originally designed for. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of tape on here that I can take off just so that that lays flat for you so that you can see it there. And also I did share this one earlier too with a little bit of embossing, just using that square panel instead of using this pretty frame. So there they are. Do you have a favorite? You have a favorite for today? I saw a lot of people saying, I love A2 cards too. So maybe the A2 version using Master Layouts 10 is your favorite. But I really am digging the slimline, and I love the fact that you can put these in a regular business size envelope. You know, it's nice to use these once in a while when you're not writing a bill, right? Writing a check for a bill. And they do fit nicely right in there. And of course you can get the kind that don't have the security, but easy peasy. And it goes for a forever stamp, which is so nice. All right, Tom, let's give away a gift card.
Okay, we got a drum roll, please. And the winner today is Mary Messing. Mary Messing.
Yay, Mary. Congratulations, Mary. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that digital gift card out to you. Now, I will be live tomorrow over on the scrapbook.com YouTube channel. We're going to be playing with the scoring board. We're going to be doing some fancy folds, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be over there with Cody and Laura, and we always have so much fun. I will share that on my posts tab, and I will also share that in our Facebook group. So you'll be able to find me tomorrow over there with them. And then if you like this video, and I sure hope you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that really does help our channel. And if you're not subscribed, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Just hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. And if you haven't been over to our Facebook group yet, we'd love to have you there. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. We'd love to have you. It's a fun group, and we share our love of Gina K Designs products and lots of inspiration for you. And then a big thank you to Brianne Loveland for once again being here and helping us with all of those links. Thank you, Brianne, so much. If you missed any of her links, you can find everything I used in today's video over on our website at ginakdesigns.com. All right, everybody. Well, I will see you tomorrow with Cody and Laura, and then Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live, so we hope you'll join us again for that. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.